off to Milan, Barcelona, the Dam, get it up, ye, get it up, ye.
Rangers in the Cup, the Europa League on the horizon, fan protests in the stand. This is 20 Minute Tims and we're here to talk about Celtic. I'm your host Jamie, joined by Melly.
Yes.
And Stephen.
What's that, lad?
Oh, do you know what? There's just been so much to talk about with Celtic recently, about protests and anger and letdowns and statements, and I thought, do you know what? We'll just get together and talk about all of it.
I think in a bigger picture, don't let, if we were to win a treble this year, don't let that mask the fact that these are guys that are quite clearly the poison that exists within our football club.
99.4% endorsed the vote of no confidence. It's huge, it's massive. Talking about a call for the removal of Michael Nicholson, Chris Mackay, Peter Lawwell. Look at the percentages next to the names. Overwhelming.
Dermot Desmond, Michael Nicholson, Lawwell and the Celtic board fucking hate us with a burning passion. They won't communicate with us, they're forever trying to come up with excuses to ban fans, they're forever getting in their own way, the stadium's a shithole, the catering's shite. So many even the outside of the stadium they couldn't even be bothered to put banners up.
Does he despise Peter Lawwell?
No.
Is it Paul Brennan from Celtic Quick News?
Yes.
Yeah. We've decided to hold the board to account, but what standard should we hold them to? Well, I've decided we should hold the Celtic board to the ultimate standard, a biblical standard. We are going to take a look at how the Celtic board have performed over the years in accordance with the 10 Commandments, which I have gotten from the Catholic Telegraph, or as I like to call it, the Fenian Telegraph. So let's take a look at the first commandment. I am the Lord thy God, thou shalt not have strange gods before me. Well, who could forget when Scott Brown said in 2021, Celtic should have a statue of Peter Lawwell outside Celtic Park. You've got Jock Stein, you've got Billy McNeil, and then you've got the statue of Peter Lawwell. Well, somebody seems a bit out of place there, and I think I can find the exact moment when Peter Lawwell whispered in Scott Brown's ear and told him, tell them to build a statue of me.
For a start, Israel's a beautiful country. I have a great affiliation with Israel.
The second commandment, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Now, I'm not saying that Grace Gifford and Joseph Plunkett are godlike figures, but let's take a look at this video and you'll see what I mean when I say it just feels sacrilegious. Rod Stewart, Ian Bankier, Bruce Forsyth, Brian Wilson, and the big dog himself. Now, I don't think the spirit of the song really should include a group of millionaires sitting around a table, eating caviar and drinking champagne. Whenever Joseph Plunkett was brought out and executed in 1916 by the Brits, I don't think this is what he quite had in mind. So for me, this is sacrilegious. What's the third commandment?
Before we finish up, check us out. And if you haven't done it already, absolutely top quality bands. Go and get your body over and watch this good man on the old YouTube. This, for me, this is possibly one of the best looking things that I have seen in a long time. It is, how would I describe it? It is very much like the brass eye of Celtic fit by content. It is like the naked video of Celtic fit by content for those that are of a certain age that remember the naked video. Get yourself out there and get them watched. Another one from Paul, absolutely top class, doing the Channel 67 stuff. Good bands, it's sort of fast cuts, it's done in a comedic way. It's absolutely top notch, and I look forward to more of that content.
The third commandment, remember to keep holy the Lord's Day. Well, we can't do that much this year because we're going to be playing on Sundays a lot as we have Thursday night Europa League football. And what's next then? The fourth commandment? Honour thy mother and thy father. Well, you have some Uber fans who make an annual pilgrimage to County Sligo to visit the beautiful bust of the father of Celtic, Brother Walfrid. And then you have others that seem to think Celtic exists only to line their own pockets. The fifth commandment, thou shalt not kill. Now, I'll give the board credit. We were on the brink of death in '94. Fergus McCann saved the club, and this current board have managed not to let the club die. But like the Celtic board on AGM day, I couldn't resist a little shot at Rangers Dan. Number 6, thou shalt not commit adultery. Now, Gordon Strachan's been doing the podcast rounds again, and he likes to tell a story of how back in 2008, Peter Lawwell had the chance to join Arsenal as chief executive and turned him down to remain at Celtic. So I suppose you're going to have to give the board pass marks on this one. But dear God, imagine Lawwell had left and joined Arsenal. The 20 years of pain would have been spared. Number 7, thou shalt not steal. Well, the board has certainly stole the fans' happiness and maybe even some money from them this season. Number 8, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbour, or as I like to call it, don't lie. Well, one member of the Celtic board, Peter Lawwell, Brian Wilson, you decide, went to the Sun and told a few lies about Brendan Rodgers trying to rip the club apart this summer. Number 9, thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's wife, no harm of that, with Big Russ in charge at Ibrox. And the final commandment, thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's goods, no harm in that, with the current Teddy Bear squad either.
Keep 100% of your claim. Chief of claims.
First of all, big shout out to Channel 67. I don't know if you've clocked.
I watched the video.
Once again, cracking video for Paul. Loved it. He said, forever on the right good Tim's list in my book.
Thank you.
Oh, guy.
It's time now for this week's Right Good Tim's list. Let's take a look and see who has performed well this week. First up, I want to give a massive shout out to James Forrest, the blogger, and admit that even your beloved host sometimes can get things wrong. For years I read James Forrest's blog, and to be honest I never quite took to him. I always was of the opinion, maybe swayed by others online, that he was too obsessed with Rangers. But recently, James, along with Eric and Joe McHugh, has launched the Trinity Tim's podcast, and I have done a complete 180 on James Forrest. I also see he's joined the Kerrydale Street forums. I used to be a member, long since permanently banned. But James is considered, he's intelligent, he comes across as kind and thoughtful, and I had to give a big recommendation for this episode of the Trinity Tim's podcast with Old Heed Robert. There is an unforgettable, iconic moment where Robert screams, "How stupid do you think I am?" And I'm a sucker for a 75-year-old man screaming on a podcast. But James, I was wrong about you. Insightful, intelligent, thoughtful, kind, considerate. You're a right good Tim. I was devastated at the end of the last episode when I realised I forgot to give a shout out to one Celtic fan's view, Baz himself. There is one word that describes Baz, and that word is relentless. Morning and evening daily content from his palace in Spain. Baz, keep up the good work. You're a right good Tim.
Get in there, Brendan!
In the last episode, I said I would love somebody to tell Cy Ferry to fuck up. You're looking at this and you're thinking, how could Gordon DL ever be on a right good Tim's list? Well, you're about to see the moment where Gordon DL did the thing I asked for and somebody finally put Cy Ferry in his place. Now it starts off lighthearted, maybe a bit touchy, Cy Ferry immediately not too happy with it, a little bit of light humour in the middle about turkey, hair and teeth. But watch the end remark. Everybody's laughing and cheering throughout. But watch Gordon's final comment where people don't laugh and perhaps it stings a wee bit too much for Cy Ferry. Well done, Gordon. It's what I've been wanting. Let's take a look.
think you are, man. Mate, I think you.
The question was, who's the most full of themselves?
Now that you dress. Good. You think? Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck you a bit. I'll wrestle you.
Hold on, let me finish. You think you're funny? Here's another one.
He's after your joke.
You think you're a fucking expert in football?
Yes, Gordon.
Because you're fucking assistant manager, we're roundabout team up me school brain.
Okay, real shots. Gets a bit lighthearted here, but wait for the end. It comes back round.
Anytime you think I'm wrong.
You're not wrong, Gordon. You're right.
You're loving it. Your hair's getting fucking...
Okay, lighthearted, a little bit jokey, her and turkey teeth.
You know what's going to happen to you? You're going to Turkey, you'll come back with teeth and everything.
I'll never near got that.
You've moved into a fucking flat and you think you're a Billy Big Boss.
Yes! That final remark! The laughter stopped. It all went too far. Gordon DL, this week, you of all people are a right good Tim. Who's up next? Rocky Bats, Rocky Battaglia himself. We're talking 20 years ago in the early days of YouTube. He was a fellow from Brooklyn that used to do some rhymes or poems about Celtic and about being a Fenian. Does anybody else remember him? I remember it so vividly. He would do a rap or a poem and then it would end, he would say something along the lines of 17-0 by Catholic KO. It was basically Andrew Dice Clay if he was a Celtic fan. And I would be remiss not to mention the great Paul John Dykes, or as I like to call him, John Paul Dykes. What we see right here is what will forever be known as the Paul John Dykes effect. When on Axum, Paul John Dykes gave Channel 67 a shout out after the last episode. Here is our subscribers chart, our new subscribers. This isn't a flat line, by the way. You're sort of getting 1, 2, 5, maybe 10 at a time here. The day Paul John Dykes shouted us out, 500 new subscribers in one day. That is the Paul John Dykes effect.
Finally got home at, don't know, 11 o'clock or something, right? And I'm just unwinding. You'll be the same after a gig, JP. You're just unwinding, right? And this thing popped up, and it's a Celtic channel, and it's actually called Another One from Paul, right? So search for it. This is what we all need in our life right now as a Celtic fan, JP. This is a guy who is having that self-deprecating humour that we all loved about Not The View back in the day. And not only is he poking fun at Celtic in the current situation, as an absolute Celtic fan, by the way, he's doing the same with fan media. He's watching all the fan media, and he is saying that there's lists every week that he's going to release. And some of the good guys, if you've done something good that week, you're on the good boys list. And if you've not, you're on the naughty list. And all I'm saying, JP, and it's not negative, you get a mention. You get a mention on this week's show. Go and check it out. Channel 67 on the socials, on the YouTube. Another One from Paul. Go and check it out. I was laughing out loud watching it, like literally. And I thought to myself, this is what I need right now. I need a wee bit of this. Because see, back in the day on the supporters bus coming home from the games and you're reading a fanzine and the football and all the nonsense that's going on with the board, sometimes you need a wee bit of a release. There it is.
Absolutely.
Quite unique. Go and check it out.
And another shout out for Axom in honour of the great Chris McElwain, double denim himself. I've gone Chris McElwain, I've gone DD today with the double denim. But there's only one double denim in the Celtic YouTube world. Keep up the double denim, Chris. Now, of course, there is unfortunately also the Bad Boys list to take a look at. There is just one entry in the Bad Boys list this week. Paul Slaney, you have been spurred. You were going to be put on it for saying on open goal that you believed Hearts were going to win the league, but Hearts are indeed top. And also, your vlog when you went to Bologna was excellent. So Slaney, you have been spurred this week. So just the one item to take a look at on this week's Bad Boys list, and that is the Sports Icons YouTube channel. They generate a lot of football content, sometimes looking at Celtic, but the channel is entirely AI generated and even at times pronounces it Celtic. Please unsubscribe from Sports Icon YouTube channel. Look at this video of Paul McStay lying almost dead in a hospital bed, completely AI generated. Although I do like this one of Mark Hateley screaming, "I hate you" at McCoist. And remember, any suggestions you have for the right good Tim's list or the Bad Boys list, get in contact with Channel 67.